Hello everyone, it's Shadow Vixen, and today we're back with another story-like narration for Arcane Odyssey. The last time I did this was with my pacifist run. If you haven't seen that, I do recommend going to check it out. It was my first try at something like this, and I hope to maybe refine a little bit of the details and have a better story-like narration this time around. Last time, that was for me trying to beat the game as a pacifist, and this time I will be beating the game without using WASD. Or arrow keys, whatever you want to use, I guess, whatever your preference is. I'll get into the rules in a second here. I have previously done this challenge, which was quite a while ago, and there were quite a few parts I couldn't find a way to not use WASD through, and this time around, I found ways to avoid them. Not all of them, but I've severely cut it down. How exactly? You guys are just gonna have to watch to find out. The rules of this challenge are pretty simple. I can't use WASD, arrow keys, or anything else to make my character move, like walking or running. And the second thing, I am allowing myself to use any bugs or glitches that I can find. This is what actually enables to do most of the challenge. To keep the story narration as smooth as possible, I'll be using little info cards like this one to show up any mechanic info that I want to display. But if you guys do want more mechanics, I recommend going to check out my old video. But anything new or anything I find important, I will be including in these little info bubbles right here. But without further ado, let's get into the story of Lucian. I didn't know who I am, or where I was, who this person was in front of me. We greeted each other and we're good friends, and he gave me some stuff to get started, and he told me to go to Redwick. But one of these items he gave me was a curse. I can't move anymore. I don't know what's wrong with me. I can't walk, but I have the stagger. This can inch me forward, so I guess I'll do what I have to do to get around. Unsure of where Redwick exactly was, I headed to this neighboring island, but I don't think this was it. So I just continue to move on and head into these giant stone spires. I saw some light in the distance, so maybe that could be it. I got closer and closer, and this looked like a town. Maybe this is what Morden was talking about. As I got closer, I heard someone whimpering and crying. I approached them, and I guess they were hiding. Their town was run over by pirates. I don't know what to do, but I have magic. I have a weapon. Maybe I could help. I headed into the tavern, and our friend there we saved was there as a tavern keeper. She gave us some food and rest and told us to go meet the chief, and he just kind of made us do some chores for him. I didn't really know exactly what else to do, so if I can, I should help out. After running around and helping some people and even clearing out the bandits camp, he had another task for me. He told me about this hermit that used to live there that is supposedly poisoning their waters, which was poisoning their fish so they couldn't eat. He tasked me with going to meet him, and without exactly sure what I was expecting, I went ahead and met the hermit.
You should not have come here.
Finally, he called defeat so we could talk to him, and it turns out he didn't even know that he was causing problem. He'd been practicing his magic because he doesn't even have full control over it over the ocean, and well, that's kind of bad for the environment, and he didn't really put two and two together. He agreed to stop, and we went back to the chief to explain the situation. He thanked us for our efforts and gave us reward for our compensation. He wanted us to do another favor for him, and he sent us out to this next town called Frostmill to meet one of his scouts. Eventually, we reach Frostmill, and we talk to Halfred. We send it back to Redwake, but now without mentioning something about a curse of the island. He didn't know too many details himself, so he told me to go talk to the mayor, and that's what I did. Apparently, the island has been slowly melting, which, well, that could put a lot of lives at risk. He tells me to go investigate the bandits up on the top of the mountain and see if they know anything, and after helping some of the townsfolk, I go ahead and do that. Finally, after a little while, I got some information out of them. I went to go report back to the mayor that they heard something or saw something about a lady with red hair in the distance. He wasn't too sure himself. He sent me to go speak with Enazor to see if he can know anything, and sent me off to go search for her. I wasn't exactly sure what I was getting myself into, but this is a lot of lives at risk. I have to help them, no? I went atop the mountain and started searching around. I found some old town ruins, but then I saw some fire in the distance, and I was sure this was it.
You finally found me, huh? Well, I'm not gonna let you capture me without a fight. I'll destroy you. You're not gonna trick me, Ravenna scum. I'll kill you.
After beating her and trying to calm her down, she was still pretty feisty. She was convinced we were from Ravenna to take her back or something, but I tried my best to assure her I was not, and she just left without another word. I don't know where she went, but I guess she has her own mission like we do in this world, whatever that might be. I headed back down to the mayor to explain what happened, and he informed me that the red-haired girl went past here. I told him about what happened, and he also said something about Ravenna being suspicious, and that it seemed like she was sailing towards the stepstones. He actually gave me some decent directions this time, so I knew where I was going. And without much other purpose in my own life, I decided to head to the Stepstones myself, and maybe I can help her. Maybe I can gain her trust. Eventually, I reached the Stepstones that night, and well, I wasn't expecting a mountain, but maybe I should have regarding the fact that it's called Stepstone. I met a man down below named Ren, and he had seen the girl. He also stated that he was looking for someone important here, and I said I'd keep an eye out if I found anything. I painstakingly made my way up the mountain and found Iris. She was a little bewildered by the fact that we followed her, but after stating my intentions and that I wanted to help, she felt like she couldn't refuse. She stated about these hooded figures and that they were somewhere here. So I decided to go talk to Ren and see if maybe this is what he was looking for, and it in fact was. So I went ahead to go rent a skyship to see if I could figure anything out, and then I ran into someone named Neviro. He gave us a tip saying that they were on Skycliff Island. I'm not exactly who he was or why he was helping, but I decided to blindly trust him, and maybe he did know something. And, well, that's where I headed. Sure enough, as I got there, I found the hooded figures. He wasn't lying.
It seems the boss was right that people will come here to investigate. No matter, we'll make quick work of you.
I defeated them all and grabbed one of their cloaks for proof and headed back to inform everyone. He suggested we go to Myriad to maybe find out what this logo exactly was. And after painstakingly making our way all the way there, we figured it out what they were. They call themselves the Order, an evil organization. I wasn't too sure on the details, but I knew we had to stop them. I headed back and informed Iris Neviro, although Neviro didn't really care much. We had to go locate the rest of the Order members. They both assumed there had to be more, and I agreed. There had to be more than just 3 here if they were here, and they were just lower members. So, after looking around a little bit, I saw another island in the distance, and, you know, maybe that's the island I needed to head to. And sure enough, as I got closer, I saw more members. After swiftly defeating them, I continued to search the island, and that's when I found someone I don't think I was ready to fight.
So which one are you? A serious island rat? Or perhaps an Azura envoy sent to seek revenge? Either way, you were too late. The Order already has Beringer, and will soon have possession of not 1, but 2 new sea curses. Perhaps I've said too much. No matter. You won't be leaving this island in one piece.
After that embarrassing display, he decides to give up all the information he knows. And, well, the least I can do in return is spare his life. Especially after how bad he fought. I got back to the Sky Islands and reunited with Iris. I explained what happened, and she couldn't believe it. Ravenna really did have something to do with the Order. To figure out where Berenger went, we decided to split up, and I would go to the Sailor's Lodge to see if we could find anything about the Order. And without any better idea, I followed her plan. Upon reaching Sailor's Lodge, I went around to see if I could find information about the Order, and I ran into an old friend. Gordon was here, and while we were catching up, it turned out we had similar goals. He was also searching for the Order, and we decided to ask around to see if we could find any way into Talos. Because apparently there was something going on there regarding the Order of Aesir. After speaking to a Ravenna pirateer, he informed us about a little cove behind the fort that no one knew about, and was an easy way to sneak in. I informed Morton about this, and without any better option, we decided to set sail and head there. Upon reaching, we had to go through a little sewer system or underwater tunnel. And we were in. Quickly, we broke through the wall and took down one of the guards to get some information before me and Morton split up to figure out where the Order was. I found some soldiers having a small discussion, and it wasn't really about much, but they did mention hooded figures. That meant they were here. So I continued forward to hopefully find them and uncover their plan. But I couldn't go forward anymore this way. There just wasn't a path. So I turned around to go meet up with Morton. But I never found him. Just this note he left.
I'm very sorry, Lucien, but I had to leave the fort urgently. There's no time. You should make it to Berenger before he dies. He may be able to explain. Continue through this hallway and make a left at the spiral staircase to reach him. I'll meet you in Ravenna about 2 weeks from now, if all goes well. Take care. From Morton.
I was kind of at a loss for words. I didn't know what to say. But I knew there had to be a reason. I don't think he would just abandon me. I just have to trust him. I continue forth and follow his instructions, and that's when I meet him. Chained up, beaten, cut, abused. Ren comes in and ushers us out without much details, and I continue to just search for who the Order is here. I hear some distant talking from a room, and I think the General is in there, but I couldn't exactly hear them. So I went to the next room over, and there was actually a hole in the wall, so I could listen in.
Yes, the High Lord has already departed Ravenna, and is on his way to collect the curse. The Dying Truth Serum worked like a charm. Good work, Roswell. I'm beginning to think we would have never gotten him to talk.
Is it wise that the High Lord went to go take it himself? I mean, what will the Ravenna government...
It is safer that way. It is imperative that he is the one to absorb the curse. We cannot risk some traitor taking it for themselves at the last moment. The user of that curse will shift the tides of power in these seas. I am in charge of Ravenna's forces while he is away.
What of the novice, Elias?
He should have returned a few days ago. Something must have happened. He seemed devoted to the cause. I doubt he would jump ship now. We will send a small group back to Sears to investigate. Well, there you are. It seems we have found the rat with a death wish. You dare sneak into this fortress under my watch? Stay out of my way, men. I'll kill this vermin myself. You're stronger than I thought you would be, Worm. You've broken my armor. It appears I'll have to use more than just my strength to kill you.
Enough! I won't just kill you, I am going to make you suffer! You're lucky my body isn't what it used to be. If I was still in my youth, your corpse would be getting thrown into the ocean by now.
We managed to beat him, but only barely. The fort was crumbling down on itself. I had to get out of there fast. Afraid for my life, I fled away from anywhere near Ravenna, Fort Talos, even Sailor's Lodge. I ended up on this deserted and seemingly remote island to recover from my injuries from that fight. I discovered someone here who was investigating something about these witches, and I wasn't in the best shape, but I decided to help out, even against my better judgment. I killed a bunch of these witches, whatever they were for, and as I went further through, there was just another strong foe waiting for me. I informed Gaul about what happened, and he was kind of sorry about putting me through that, but I guess I got some good experience out of it. I decided to lay low for a couple of days, healing up, before I would head to Ravenna to hopefully come across Morden. Upon reaching Ravenna, there was something going on in the town square, and as I approached it, appears the king was out on hiatus for something. I wasn't really listening that much, but I was curious who he was, so I went to go talk to him, and turns out he's actually the prince. I don't know if he was tied in with the order or not, but I kept my distance just to be safe. I talked to some of the townsfolk to figure out what's exactly going on, and they suggested I headed to the next town over, and so I did. It turns out a lot is happening over here at Ravenna, and the mayor from Palo Town got kidnapped. I speak with the guards there to figure out what happened, and they didn't have much information, and, well, they kind of made me ask around. Trying to seem like a lawful citizen, I decide to listen and help out, and I give them the information I find. As I was talking to people, though, it seemed like a lot of them had some problems, so before I went to go search for where the kidnapping was, I decided to help out a little bit. And I will say, this took a while. but eventually, we did go figure out who the kidnappers were. At first, I was concerned it might have been the Order of Aesir kidnapping Mayor Tilly, but it really wasn't. It was just some inner conflict with the Ravenna army. But an urgent report came in that Argos was killed. They knew, and now they're looking for me. I don't want to involve myself in this conflict. They were just a poor little town who wanted some money. Sure, this isn't the best way to go about it, but before anything worse happened, I fled. They told me the Shining Plains would probably be the safest place to go if I were to stay here, and that's where I went, but man, were they wrong.
So, you're the one that killed Argos? Must be some kind of mistake. You look like you wouldn't hurt a fly. Tell me, are you also responsible for the disappearance of my brother, Elias? I see. Then, he must have gone into hiding, since he failed his mission. The Order will likely hunt him down and kill him anyway. My little brother was always a weakling, trying to follow my footsteps. Either way, I'll kill you for his sake. I didn't expect it to have such durability. Let's see who can last the longest.
After a long and hard battle, we finally defeat her. Everyone is looking for us here, apparently, and they antagonize us to go to the castle to finally figure out who's the leader of this order. And I stupidly listened. In hindsight, I don't know why I did.
I finally found you! That's all it took. Argos must have been getting on in age more than we thought if this runt was able to kill him.
I don't know how much time has passed, but I woke up in this dungeon. I don't know where I am or how long I've been passed out or anything. They took all my stuff from me. Wait, how do I move now? Oh, well, you know, I guess this works. I talked to the guard and I was quickly put up to pace, and I was a prisoner, forced to mine here. I've been out for 2 days and I don't know how much longer I'd have to be here. Maybe for the rest of my life. He instructed me to go back to sleep, and the next day I would be forced to mine. But I did make a friend down here. He helped me out and gave me a bunch of information and just good stories, making this not such a horrible place to live. I was down here for a couple of days, and he eventually told me about this pale woman that's down here, and she might have a better clue about the Order of Aesir. So that's where I try to go find her, and eventually I do. And it's none other than the king himself, who is at least a big part of the Order. But without me being able to leave, there's nothing I can do with that information.
We finally found you.
My friends finally found me. I'm so relieved. I have to go get my stuff. I take one more lounge through this prison, and finally I can properly move. These cuffs of, I don't know, are finally off. We have to go. We have to stop the king.
There they are! After them!
Everyone, go ahead. I'll take care of them. It'll help me blow off some steam.
I've got your back.
Not so fast. Your little brute won't be going any further than this. I don't know what your goal is, Lucian Mist, but I've decided to kill you right here and now.
I'll fight you. Lucian, Navarro, go on ahead. You must reach the king. Hurry. I don't know how dangerous this power is yet. I don't want to hurt either of you.
You actually managed to reach me, the infamous Lucian Mist, Killer General Argos and Destroyer of Fort Talos. When I heard the news, believe me, I was furious.
It was the king, the one you were searching for. He was behind all of this. He's evil. We have to kill him. We can't leave this room without beating him.
Now that the father's been taken care of, you can tell me who you really are. It disgusts me that I have to use my grandfather's power just to work like you. Even if it's a fraction of what he had. Now die so I can save his pride. You may not know your true power yet, but I can sense it. People with your blood are dense for great things in this world.
I managed to beat him. That was not an easy fight, but there's no room for him left in this world. We have to get out of here. We run away to the shore without much time to spare. We were all pretty badly injured, some of us more than others. But then Revan shows up, tries to kill us for killing his brother Calvis, but I can't kill him. He's not part of the Order. It feels wrong. He's not involved. He's just an innocent bystander. I just have to leave him. We get on our ship and flee to Windrow Island, and that's where we set up camp to recover. Eventually, we hear something in the distance, and it turns out Ren has come to us. He tells me something about awakening to get stronger, and if I was gonna get any further in this journey, I would have to. Morden has a curse. Iris has a lost magic. What do I have?
Long have we waited for a legacy with a strong sense of justice. Come to me, seek your destiny at our office.
I don't know exactly why I'm here. I was just drawn here. Is this the awakening he was telling me about? I don't know. What's going on? What is this? What did he just give me? I don't know exactly what happened, but I feel a new energy just pulsing within me. I feel stronger. I have some sort of magic. I don't know what's going on. This must be the awakening Ren was talking about. I should probably get back to camp and tell them what happened. I informed Ren and he was pleased with the results, and then our group decided to head out. Neviro left to rebuild Ravenna as the new king, or something like that. While me, Morden, and Iris, we decided to head to the Nimbus Sea to see where else we could find the Order. Once we arrived in the Nimbus Sea, we weren't exactly sure where we were supposed to go. We didn't have a map or anything. But I guess land is what found us first. These pirates lured us in, and after beating them up and getting some information out of them, they were here as some orders to get loot from whoever passes by. This is under the orders of their Captain Maria, or maybe someone even higher up than her. Did this have to do with the Order of Aesir? I wasn't sure, but I continued through to find out. And after killing more pirates and finding the ship where she resided, I found some Sumerian envoys trapped in a cage. I don't really know who they are, but I sent them to go meet with Morden and Iris, and then I found Maria.
Me aim was a bit off. Don't worry, lad. We'll miss the second time. Get up! Let's see how you fight. You're a real pest. I think I'd have to use my full power against somebody like you. Take this!
After finally beating her and gathering her orders, we met back up with Morden and Iris, and the Sumerian envoys wanted us to meet with their Empress, and so we did. After the envoys guided us back to Samaria, we met with their Empress, who was really nice. We told her we were some mercenaries and we were here to help out. And she actually already had a task for us. She wanted us to go investigate Port Mistral, which supposedly was under attack. With no better options, we listened because we can help. But as soon as we get there, the island's on fire. There's one soldier left alive, and after taking care of some more Karax Vikings, we see something in the distance. They call this ship the Fenrir, a massive ship built by one of the sons of Wotan with their wood curse. We had to get to the Queen, we had to inform her of what happened, but as we were leaving, the Karax Viking ships were following us. Kinda. But eventually we got it back to the Queen, and we informed her of what happened. They were in the middle of a war meeting, and designed us to all go to specific places. I would have to go to Sky Hall. I wasn't sure exactly what this would entail, but I knew I would have to go to the sky. I don't have a great history with last time, but now with this newfound power, I think this will be much better. I was first instructed to talk with Alar to get myself a glider, so I could actually get up to Sky Hall. And after testing it out, I decided to help out the people of Samaria to maybe unlock some more power within my weapons, and that's exactly what I managed to do. Feeling more prepared than ever, I set sail to Sky Hall. I made it up. That glider worked. Not the most pretty landing, but it's not like I have much experience. You can't blame me there. I met someone named Will Curtis, and he confirmed I was in Sky Hall, and he even offered me a ride to go speak with the king. I guess his wife wasn't a huge fan of the idea, though. I guess they kind of looked down on us quote-unquote sweet dollars. But eventually I made my way through the castle and spoke with one of the guards, and they took me to one of the commanders to hear out my message from Empress Nyla. And then we met someone. His name was Alanon, and he was the eldest prince. He was pretty frustrated that his commander turned up and ripped the note. He said he would speak with Emerson to get my note rewritten and told me to wait outside in the courtyard. Eventually he came and we talked a little bit about the statue, and eventually his loyal bodyguard showed up too. They decided to take us on a tour around the Sky Hall Kingdom, as we decided to go speak with the Queen.
How about we visit the memorial?
Bit of a grim place to take a guest, but sure.
It's grim, true, but I find history most interesting. Right this way. See those wide-topped towers down some of the streets? They are rain catchers. A most genius design. When it rains, the men inside fill up barrel after barrel with the basins up top. Then the barrels are distributed throughout Sky Hall to whoever needs them or saved in storage. We're almost there.
After learning a bit of history, we met Alanon's lover, and they told us they would meet us over at the docking bay. Me and Callahan decided to quote-unquote run there.
You don't mind if we run, do you? Keep up, we'll be at the Notice Great Bridge soon. Watch yourself by the railings. Excuse us, let's head to the shipyard. You don't mind if we run, do you? Keep up, we'll be at the Notice Great Bridge soon. Watch yourself by the railings. Excuse us, let's head to the shipyard.
But eventually we made it so we could go speak to the Queen. Finally, when we found her, we explained that we were from the sea and that we need to talk to the king. She promised she would give us a meeting with the king, and so we had nothing left to do but go to bed. They gave us a guest room, and tomorrow they would give us a meeting. When we woke up, we decided to spend some time learning about Alanon's invention about skyships. But something went wrong. There was a massive explosion. Alanon was nowhere to be found, but eventually when we found him, he was pretty distraught. Alanon believed this was sabotage, and Liara went to go speak with Esmeralda to maybe figure out who did this. But then something happened. Liara was stabbed, and so was Callahan. Was this the Order of the Aesir? It didn't look like them. They were gravely injured. We had to get them to a doctor. Fast. Except I can't go that fast. But eventually we made it to a doctor. I don't know who did this, but it was pretty clear Liara was no longer with us. But with Callahan, there must have been something coded on the dagger. Something was happening to him. I was sent to go get someone who knew their way around medicine, and when he returned, we learned that he gained a blood disease. One that would make him much more powerful at the risk of his life. With nothing left I could do, or Callahan, we decided to go to bed, and we would have our meeting tomorrow morning.
I am sorry that I have been unable to meet with you until now.
I explained the note and Empress Nyla's intention and what she needed, and they were sorry of what we were going through, but they couldn't spare anyone or help us. They wanted to remain peaceful, but before anything was predicted, Alanon busted in.
It was him! I saw his eyes under the cloak!
He said it was his brother who did it. He saw his eyes. The king wasn't having any of it and shut them both down, but Alanon wasn't listening. Maybe it was disease or something, I don't know, but he stormed off in a fit of rage. I don't know what he was going to do, but we have to stop him. He is too dangerous. He's not himself. It turns out he was breaking the chains, which would send Skyhall down into the sea. We had to stop him. Everyone will die if we don't. We rushed over there as quickly as possible, and we had to put a stop to his madness. We managed to put a stop to him for a moment, but he still wasn't going down without fighting. He ended up just flying off to go break another chain, leaving us behind. But I wasn't about to let him get away.
You're more powerful than I thought, but you cannot stop me. Phoenix Fire heals injuries. Now, be gone!
Thankfully, his power ran out due to his disease, and then the king appeared.
My son, I have loved you from the day you were born. Forgive me for retreating so far into myself after your mother passed. She was the love of my life, and I regret not being a better father to you. But I cannot let you kill our people, Alanon. In the name of King Zenith Anawasi, ruler and protector of the Skyhall Kingdom and the Nimbus lands, I hereby banish you. You may never return.
That was kind of a rough sight to watch, but it was probably for the better. The next day we reattempted our meeting and the king would not help us, but Princess Esmeralda and Callahan really wanted to join us in our adventure, so at least we wouldn't be leaving empty-handed. And so we sailed back to Samaria. She was disappointed with the results, but alas, there's nothing we can really do about it. Any help is honestly really appreciated. She informed us that Morden and Iris had already returned, and they were both in pretty rough shape. But we had a good rest, and the next morning we discussed the game plan. We were gonna go attack the Fenrir, and my job was to sink all the ships so we could get on in. So we sailed towards the Fenrir. We took out the ships, which was more painful than I kind of expected, but they were also bugged out, so that made it a lot easier, and we started to invade. The Vikings were not going without a fight, but eventually we carved a path through and got into their ship. And then I found someone who was not going to go down easily.
Mounting an attack during the dead of night is a cowardly way to face your enemy. And yet, the All-Father was right. You played right into her trap. Any moment now, Jerson will arrive and kill you all. Until then, I shall enjoy the glory of battle. You better not disappoint me. For I am Ivor the Tyrant, Jarl of the Garrick's kingdom. Glory to the All-Father! Your understanding of magic is lacking. Your intention is weak and simple. You will never overcome a warrior such as me. Allow me to show you the power of a true warrior.
General Kelia finds us after we defeat Ivar, of course after, and informs us that we have to evacuate. We come back up from the ship and everyone's fighting their harness. We were getting overwhelmed, and General Akeem told us we needed to evacuate and he would sink the ship himself. So after quickly escaping, which wasn't that bad of an escape actually, we made our way back to Samaria.